So it's been about a few days since I got rid of my clients. I've still got Austin Dunham. I don't like editing his videos because I'm just lazy. I've done only about 3 so far, but I want to finish it because the money, and then I could also say I worked for Austin Dunham, so that like help my portfolio. Been pretty depressed for the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 days since I got rid of my clients and stuff, because I got rid of all my friends as well. And I realised something. When I got rid of my friends and clients, I realised how negative they were, and also I learned something. When you consume content or you spend time with people, you become more like them. And I noticed, as cliche as it sounds, negativity is a disease and it is contagious. And then like positivity, happiness is like a medicine and it's also contagious. And all the people that I was friends with, they were success chasers, but all of them were very unhappy and very negative. Some were evil. Only recently, yesterday, I started talking to Filipinos again. And the thing is, despite having nothing, they're really happy. Why would I live like a Westerner who is unhappy? Why would I take advice from a Westerner who is unhappy? If you ask someone what's the meaning of life, I'm sure most people would say happiness is the meaning of life. Most people would agree to that. Some people say success is the meaning of life. They're the people who are not happy. Do you really want to take advice from people who are not happy? I'm not saying you can't be successful. I actually don't think success is that hard. I'm a very lazy person. I would definitely consider myself successful. But then I realised, if you are not naturally ambitious, for example, an Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, people who were born to thrive. If you're not born to thrive, I suggest you don't sacrifice your happiness for success. Doesn't mean you're not going to be successful. I'm very sure I'm going to be a millionaire. I don't think it's that difficult to be a millionaire. Definitely think I'll be very rich, but I'm not going to sacrifice success for happiness. All these guys, or all the guys I spoke to, the thing is, with like Elon Musk, all these top guys who are successful, that people are trying to copy, people don't realise that these guys have to do it. And I don't think people realise that these guys also are most likely autistic, they have neurological problems, they're not like mentally stable. I'm sure all the top people are highly neurotic. And they do what they do is because they have to. They don't have a choice. Now, if you feel like, I have to be successful, I don't have a choice, or I am naturally ambitious, then definitely go for it. If you have any sort of doubt in your mind, or if you're like sacrificing your happiness for success, then I don't think it's worth it. I think you should always do what you want to do. Because I realised I felt pressured to perform. Being around the people I was, everyone was trying to be somebody, everyone was trying to chase success. People were saying, you know, the only way to be happy is to be successful. or happiness is nothing, it's all about success. When you hear Westerners say that, then you know they're unhappy, and then you talk to Filipinos who really have nothing and they are happy. Also, if you learn about like the science of how the brain functions, like dopamine, hedonistic adaptation, and it's never enough, and you know it's never enough. And I think what happiness really is gratitude, and as cringe as it sounds, being in the now. And that is the problem. The problem is I just said that was cringe. And that is the issue. People think it's cringe to almost settle. Like the word settle is like a dirty word. And what I realize is that no one is watching you. No one cares what you do. No one cares who you are. No one knows who you are. I think there are about 1,000 billionaires in the world right now. I bet you can only name 5, maybe 10. What about the other 990 billionaires? No one even knows their name. Billionaires. If you was a billionaire today, 99% of people don't know who you are. Don't feel pressured to perform. The honest truth is that no one really cares. Now, people will insult you if you fail. People will insult you. But at the end of the day, you're not in their mind. They really are just again, as cringe as it sounds, they really are reflecting on their own life. And I'm not saying this as a cope. It really doesn't matter. You don't have to perform. Now, I will still be successful because it is a better alternative. Having money is not better than not having money. But I realise you should never feel the need to do anything. No one's watching you, no one cares. You can honestly do what you want. And I was asking myself, if I could really have anything, what would I want? And I said, make a passive income of about probably 10,000 a month passively, and honestly do whatever you want. Literally relax, or if you want to do an activity, go do an activity. I have always liked video editing, not to the point where video editing is a passion, but I like to believe I'm a creative person, so I would still want to make YouTube videos. I think when I go Philippines, I'll definitely make a business out of it still. Even though that I recognise I don't feel pressured to perform anymore. It's all fake, honestly. No one cares. The thing is, the West is quite mentally sick. When you've got most families who are broken, divorces, their parents just split up, people are not nice, like even my neighbours, you know, that I hear abuse. And when that has become the normal, of course you're going to get people chasing egotistically driven things like money, fame, success, because they know they're not good enough. It's insecurity at the end of the day. And I promise you this, because if you look at the self-improvement YouTubers like First Man, like, okay guys, I promise you as a man you need to build kingdoms and castles, you have to do well in life, that's where your self-esteem comes from. But the thing is, when you look at First Man, you can tell he's still stuck in high school, and you can tell the vibe I'm getting from First Man is that basically he definitely had friends in high school who he was jealous of, because he's always got this mindset like, oh, you guys were cool in high school, but when you leave high school, you guys go be married, fat, poor. Look at me, I've got a great body, I'm successful. The thing is, his motives were fueled by jealousy, that people in high school definitely did better than him, I'm sure. And this was his comeback. He thought that being successful, famous, rich, good body is a way of saying, I win in the end. But all those things are fueled by caring about what others think of you. But the truth is, no one cares. I'm not saying being rich, being successful, having a great body is a bad thing. All very good things. What I'm saying is bad is when you sacrifice your happiness to obtain those things for the purpose of mogging others, pretty much. That's when you end up not happy, because no one cares. No one cares if you're famous. No one cares if you're rich. No one gives you a second thought. Maybe some people will congratulate you. Maybe some people will shake your hand, but really, you're not in their head. They don't care about you. Your actions I was ashamed of relaxing. I remember I was in the garden yesterday, I was in the sun, I was hugging my dog, and I felt the feeling of shame, as if I was being lazy. Now that's pressure for performance. Like when you consume content, like First Man, like all these successful people, but the truth is they're sick. They're sick by the Western mindset. Again, not really saying the West is bad, but I'm saying a lot of Western people are mentally ill. Because if you think about it, what really matters in this world, just go ask a Filipino. Say, why are you so happy? I ask them. They say, the simple life. So basically not being chained to stress. That's what I'll consider a simple life. Not being pressured, not being chained from stressful things. Then the other one was family. Then if you think about the average Western person, their parents were divorced. A lot of kids hate their parents. If I ask like a random friend from England, I say, what do you think about your parents? They're most likely going to say they hate them. And then if you think about how relationships are, you know, everyone's doing hookups because people say, oh, relationships are not worth it. That's probably true. Relationships are probably not worth it, but the thing is, the reason why it's not is because sick people attract sick people. Relationships are definitely worth it if you're a mentally healthy person and you're with another mentally healthy person. Then I think it works. And the truth is, if happiness is the meaning of life and you want to be happy, why would you be with negative people? Why would you stay in the West? Of course, there are happy people in the West, but me personally, I've not met a happy person yet. And if they are, they're most likely faking it, I've noticed. But then if you go to Philippines, every single person I've spoke to said they were happy. And when you're in a call with a Filipino person and they're in their home and all you hear is like children playing, laughing, just everyone being jolly, and then compare that to a British home, it's quite safe to say that the average Filipino is happier than the average Brit or the average Westerner. And if negativity is contagious, and so is positivity, wouldn't it be smarter to go somewhere where most people are happier? And I was realizing there is no need for you to be successful. Think about the happiest people, let's say Filipinos. They have nothing but they're happy. And then think about all these guys like First Man, Hamza, all the self-improvement guys. A lot of these guys are mentally ill, especially people who do self-improvement. And I know, because I edited 4 people who did self-improvement. And when you're in call with them and you're talking to them and you know them as a person, and they tell you the abuse they had when they was children, they tell you all their mental illness that they still have today. I'll say most of all these self-improvement guys are actually the worst of people. I want to stop watching YouTube now because I realise that what you consume and the people you spend time with affect you as a person, and you become more like them. Why would I become more like a Westerner when I know most Westerners are mentally ill and they're unhappy? When I could be talking to Filipinos who are happy, and then I can learn their culture and be happy like them. And I'm not talking about becoming a monk, becoming a hedonist. I want both. I want semi-success while being comfortable. And that is definitely possible. When people say, you can't be successful and be comfortable. Yeah, you can't be Elon Musk and be comfortable, but you could definitely make like 6 figures passive and be comfortable. Like I made 2.5k last month. I only work like, how long did I work? I could honestly have only worked like 10 hours a week and made like 2.5k. Like, I wasn't working hard at all. I was probably only working maybe 2 hours a day last month. I'm a very lazy person. And to me, I felt the pressure to perform, and I wanted to make like 20,000 a month next year. I wanted to start my YouTube channel. I wanted to sell courses, which I'll probably still do. But I wanted to start a modeling agency, clothing brand. Why add stress to your life unless you really want to do those things? And to know if you want to do those things, pretty much separate the money and fame from it. Because we all know that money and fame, not that it doesn't make you happy, but that the intention, why do you want fame? Because you care about others. You care about others' opinion. But the thing is, people don't care about you. Why would you chase something? Why would you sacrifice your time, your money, your happiness to impress people who don't think about you? And I've noticed with being happy, a lot of it is letting go. You can't, like, you know the sayings, even the Bible's so wise. Like when Jesus said to that guy, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. If you think about that quote, what he meant by a rich man, in my opinion, is someone who is chained to possessions basically saying someone who is not free. Now, if you use the analogy that heaven, let's say, is being happy, like the optimal, like being content, I think, in my opinion, if you take out the spiritual side of it, what he's saying is you can't be fully content if you own something. I think to be happy, you have to be free. And I think that fits quite well to why, let's say, Filipinos who own so little are so happy. If you are chained to possession, you're not free. And when you're not free, how can you show gratitude? Like, let's say you're where I am. But then let's say I was a business owner. I could be here looking at this and thinking about my business. I'll be chained. You're not free if you do that. But if you really own less, your mind is clear to actually be. Now, of course, I still want to own a business because you need money to live. And I don't want to work a job. And I want to move to a different country. So for my plans for making money, what I want to do is have my editing business, work on it for a couple hours a day, and hire people. So what would be nice is to have like 10 clients and like maybe 3 editors. And then I want my job is to look for more clients and make sure my editors are doing the work well and the work gets delivered on time to my clients. And I think I'll only be working about a couple hours a day. And that's basically just to like sustain your life. I'm not saying like work is bad or anything, you have to, but I don't think you should sacrifice your happiness to like make more money. I think you should really just free yourself. And all these people say like, no, as a man, your worth is your money and stuff like that. No one cares. It's honestly what you think about yourself. No one cares. No one cares about you. When you think about what you bring to the table, your own value as a man, no one cares about your value. Honestly, the only thing that matters in this life is what you think about yourself and how you're spending your time. Because at the end of the day, no one really cares about you. Why would you sacrifice your happiness to gain value for people? But people don't know who you are. People don't care about you. Why would you sacrifice your life for that? I'm still planning on going to the Philippines. I think I'm going to go next month. And I am very scared. I'm scared because I've got a big fear of vomiting, which I've had my whole life. And the Philippines is known for poor food hygiene. So there's probably a very high chance I'll get food poisoning. Yes, I cook all my own food. I'm going to buy from like the top like malls. I'm gonna buy ingredients from the top malls. I was actually thinking today about going like vegetarian or vegan just to avoid eating meat, because meat is high risk. Now obviously the best option is to just like solve your mental illness, you know, like if you're mentally ill, don't go. But to be honest, I'm thinking about just taking the risk anyway, even though I've got like a horrible fear of it. Because at the end of the day, let's say I go there and then I get food poisoning, and if I'm always like ill, maybe they'll get rid of the fear, who knows. Maybe I'll get used to vomiting and I'll be like, you know, maybe I'll just get used to it. And I don't really want to be patient, actually. With what I was saying before about success, I'm not saying don't be successful. I'm still gonna try and be successful. But I will never sacrifice my happiness for possession. If you really want to be happy, as what everyone, as all the philosophers in the past said, as all the monks said, you have to be grateful and you have to let go if you want to be happy. There's no amount of things that you can own which will suddenly make you happy. It will actually do the opposite. All these guys who preach money's everything, success is everything, I promise you they're mentally ill. Success is a good thing, but sacrificing everything for success is not. Like what I did with my client, I sacrificed my happiness for money, and it's not worth it. But obviously you still want to work hard, because who wants to work a job they dislike? No one wants to do that. So I suggest you work hard to make money doing something you enjoy without sacrificing too much of your happiness. In other words, work smart, not hard. Like what I'll be doing, you know, making an editing business, outsourcing it to clients. So basically all my money's pretty much passive, and you can make a lot of money doing that. And then, as well as me starting a YouTube channel, I'm going to sell a course on how to make money online. So I'm pretty much going to sell like an entrepreneur editing course. Not specifically editing, but I will show you how to do the editing part of it. But basically I'm going to give you like a basic idea on how making money online works. So then other people can go Philippines, other people can go Southeast Asia. They can be more free locationally. They won't have to be locationally dependent. So yes, I'll still be like somewhat rich. I still definitely think I'll be making at least 6 figures in the next few years. Then I'll probably be investing a lot of it actually into like property or something. Because if you can make enough money to where you can do what you want and you can retire, that's honestly the goal, unless you're very ambitious, which I honestly believe is genetic. You don't have to be ambitious. No one cares. That is completely your choice. You determine how much you want it. Don't let other people determine how much you want something. If you look at social media and everyone's saying grind, like get on the grind set. Some people love it, some people are made for it. Most people were not made for it. And I promise you, you'll be more unhappy if you did that if you was not made for it. Not saying you should work your minimum wage job and hate it. I think you should learn to monetize a hobby of yours. So if you've got like For example, I do editing. I don't like it, but I don't hate it. I was editing since I was like 10, so it's definitely like a hobby of mine. So, you know, I'm gonna make a business out of it. But then my YouTube will be my main business. And I'll be like vlogging the Philippines and stuff. You need to find a way to make money doing something you like semi-enjoy. You have to always enjoy what you do. If you're not enjoying what you're doing something wrong. Now, it's completely okay to sacrifice your happiness for about 1 year. Let's say you've got no money and the only job you can get is working in a store, for example, and you hate it. Do that, but then find a backup plan. You need to be working towards what you know will make you happy. Basically, monetizing a hobby. You don't have anything, if you don't know what you like, then yeah, find out what you like and then figure out how to make money from doing that. So, conclusion. Be careful with who you spend time with. Be careful what content you consume, because your mindset and your personality adapts to that type of characteristics. You become more like them. Go to where happy people are and then learn what makes them happy. So then you can do the same and become happy and avoid people who are unhappy. Also, don't be pressured to perform. No one cares. No one cares if you're successful. Always do it for yourself. Always disregard the opinions of others. Because really, people don't have an opinion on you. People don't care. Life is honestly all about what you want.